From the Adriatic Sea rises a fortress unlike any other in Europe. For centuries, it has guarded a city you've probably never even heard of. But this city has 3 more fortresses and one of Europe's most unusual cathedrals built without a single brick. This is Šibenik, a hidden Croatian coastal gem. But whilst Croatia's coastline overflows with tourists each summer, this medieval gem, home to 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, remains almost completely overlooked. Why? Add in its maze of stone alleys, centuries-old charm, and Adriatic soul, and you start to wonder, how is this place still flying under the radar? I'm here to find the answer and to show you what most travelers are missing. By the end of this video, Šibenik might just leap to the top of your must-visit list. We begin right in the heart of Šibenik's old town, its main square. For centuries, this was the center of public and social life, surrounded by elegant Renaissance-era buildings, including the Cathedral, the City Hall, and the City Guard Loggia. But Šibenik's story is anything but straightforward. Unlike other Adriatic coastal towns founded by Romans, Greeks, or Illyrians, Šibenik was established by Croats themselves around 1,000 years ago. And the reason? Its sheltered bay, the best naturally protected harbor on the Croatian coast, where the Krka River meets the sea. And because of that strategic location, Šibenik became a magnet for invaders. The Venetians, Ottomans, and later the Habsburgs all fought to control this vital coastal gateway. And to survive, Šibenik had to defend itself fiercely. So the city built not 1, but 4 mighty fortresses, each watching over Šibenik from a different direction, standing guard for centuries. And one of them is unlike any other in Europe. St. Nicholas Fortress rises at the very entrance to St. Anthony's Channel, guarding Šibenik's most vulnerable approach, the sea. Šibenik was under Venetian rule for nearly 400 years, and in 1540, faced with an escalating Ottoman threat, the Venetians built this fortress as a crucial line of defense. At the time, Šibenik was one of the most important ports on the eastern Adriatic, so the Venetians constructed the fort on the tiny islet of Ljuljavac, which was once home to a Benedictine monastery dedicated to St. Nicholas, the patron saint of sailors and travelers. That's where the fortress gets its name. Its triangular, arrow-headed shape was designed to deflect cannon fire and gave defenders a wide, commanding view of the sea. With its massive stone bastion and low, thick walls, it became one of the finest examples of the Renaissance military architecture on the Adriatic. Its rare, sea-based design earned it a place on a UNESCO World Heritage List. And yet, surprisingly few travelers ever see it up close. It is accessible only via guided tour by the boat from Šibenik waterfront. A visit to the fortress lasts 2 hours and includes a boat trip from the port of Šibenik. You'll experience a deep dive into the fortress' layered and dramatic history. I'll put the link to the online tickets in the description below. You can also admire it by walking or cycling along a beautiful seaside trail through the St. Anthony's Channel Nature Park. And as you can see, you can get pretty close. But even 500 years older fortress is perched dramatically above the old town. St. Michael's Fortress marks the very beginning of the city's story. It was first mentioned in the earliest surviving written record of Šibenik all the way back in 1066. Over the centuries, it was destroyed and rebuilt multiple times, especially during the period of Venetian rule. As the city's primary defense stronghold, it controlled both land and sea access to Šibenik. But today, it offers more than just history. The fortress has been beautifully restored and transformed into a vibrant cultural venue. By day, it's a peaceful place to wander and soak in the past. By night, its open-air stage with seating between ancient stone walls come alive with concerts, plays, and film screenings under the stars. From the top, you'll get a sweeping panorama of red-tiled rooftops, the bay, and islands. And the best of all, it's easily reachable on foot with just a short climb from the main square or the waterfront. But amazingly, on slightly higher ground stands another stronghold. This is Barone Fortress, and it was built in a race against time. In the spring of 1646, the Ottoman army was gathering and their attack was imminent. Faced with the threat, Šibenik citizens and Venetian soldiers came together to build this new fortress at incredible speed. And they did the impossible. In just 58 days, Barone Fortress was completed, an extraordinary feat for the 17th century thanks to the leadership of Baron von Degenfeld, the commander of Šibenik's defense. Its rapid construction proved decisive. When the Ottoman siege began, Barone Fortress helped tip the balance. The siege lasted for more than a month, but Šibenik held firm. For the people of Šibenik, the Baron became more than a military leader. He became a hero and a guardian of the city. They named the fortress Baron in his honor, a rare exception, as Šibenik's other fortresses were all named after nearby churches or saints. Today, the fortress has been restored and turned into a high-tech heritage site. Visitors can explore animated reconstructions of battles and experience the site through augmented and virtual reality, seeing what Baron once looked like centuries ago. And while you're here, grab a drink at a cafe and enjoy one of the best panoramic views of Šibenik right from its ramparts. But what makes this story of rapid construction even more incredible is that they didn't just build one fortress in record-breaking time. They built two. Just uphill, on even higher ridge, St. John's Fortress was also constructed, swiftly and under immense pressure as part of the same desperate effort to save the city. Together, these two strongholds formed the backbone of Šibenik's northern defense, a crucial line that would soon face one of the most terrifying sieges in the city's history. It was here, in 1647, that the final line was drawn. When over 25,000 Ottoman soldiers surrounded Šibenik, these fortresses held high ground and turned the tide of battle. You can hike up through pine forests. At the top, you are rewarded with one of the most peaceful and best panoramic views in all of Šibenik. But Šibenik is much more than fortresses and history. Set along one of the most beautiful stretches of coastline in Europe, it also offers some fantastic beaches. But before I show you Šibenik's best seaside spots, can I ask you for a quick favor? 95% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. If you love discovering Europe's hidden gems, hit subscribe and join me in uncovering more places like this. And to everyone supporting my travels through Super Thanks, thank you so much. The only beach located right in the city center is Ban, and you can reach it in just a 10-minute walk along a scenic waterfront promenade. This pebble beach is packed with facilities, including an outdoor gym, making it ideal for both families with children and active beachgoers. It proudly holds the Blue Flag, the international eco-label awarded for top-quality seawater and safety standards. Ban is also one of the best photo spots in town, offering panoramic views of the old city skyline, especially magical at sunset when the fortresses glow golden. Downside? Shade is limited, and in peak summer it gets very crowded. Just 6 kilometers south of Šibenik, in the small seaside village of Brodarica, you'll find Brodarica Beach. Popular with locals, especially families, it's a quieter alternative to the more famous beaches around Šibenik. A modern steel structure provides shade over a small playground, making it especially kid-friendly. The beach is lined with cafes, beach bars and few restaurants, while the crystal clear water is perfect for swimming, paddleboarding or simply relaxing by the sea. But the most beloved beach among locals is Jadria, located right at the mouth of St. Anthony's Channel. Shaded by a dense pine forest, with crystal clear water and long pebble shoreline, it has been the city's favorite summer retreat for over 100 years. At the tip of Long Pebble shoreline is Concrete Beach, with colorful wooden cabins, once simple changing rooms, now passed down as tiny summer homes through generations. Few visitors know that Jadria used to be an islet. In the early 20th century, the shallows were filled, connecting it to the mainland and creating the peaceful beach oasis it is today. It does get crowded in summer and parking is limited, which is why many locals still prefer to arrive by boat. The small public boat line connecting Jadria to Šibenik's harbor is not just convenient, it's also a fun and scenic ride taking you right through St. Anthony's Channel, a spectacular natural corridor that connects Šibenik to the open sea. This narrow, sea-carved passage links the Krka River to the Adriatic, winding past cliffs, pine forests and hidden coves. It's part of a protected nature park where you can walk or cycle along a scenic coastal trail, pausing at rocky beaches for a swim in crystal clear water, often with no one else around. Šibenik was once home to one of the largest military naval bases on the Adriatic, and much of this coastline remained off-limits to civilians until the early 2000s. This place was so heavily guarded during the Cold War that soldiers weren't even allowed to leave their posts, not even for a toilet break. Instead, the military installed simple hole-in-the-ground toilets so they could stay on duty even from the bathroom. Today, you can uncover these secrets yourself by walking along Šibenik's beautiful coastal trail, which stretches about 4.5 kilometers or 2.8 miles, a perfect route for families, casual walkers and cyclists. Along the way, you'll discover hidden sea tunnels, once used by ships and submarines during World War II and the Cold War. The trail also leads you through Minarska Cave, named after its use by Yugoslav Navy to service and store naval mines. It's pretty incredible that today you can freely walk around and explore these once highly secret military sites on your own. And the former command and logistics center that once oversaw naval operations? It's now the St. Anthony's Channel Visitor Center, a modern interactive space where you can dive into the region's underwater world, local wildlife and Cold War history through VR and multimedia exhibits. But as much as Šibenik's coastline tells stories of nature and war, the soul of the city still lives in its stone alleys and sunlit squares. Šibenik's old town is small, but its narrow streets and bright little squares are packed with stone-built charm, centuries of history and a warm, local rhythm. This is where Šibenik slows down and invites you to simply explore. Unlike many Croatian coastal towns, Šibenik's layout is completely organic, not shaped by Roman planners, giving it a charming, almost labyrinth-like feel. A maze of narrow, stone-paved streets twists and climbs up the hillside, revealing something new around every corner. As you wander, you'll pass under medieval archways, along polished limestone alleys, and past delightful details: tiny chapels, carved stone balconies, and centuries-old doorways. Look up, and you'll spot vibrant laundry lines strung between windows, local chatting on stops, and cats napping in sunny corners. Tucked among the alleys are family-run konobas, cozy wine bars, and artisan shops, each one a little discovery waiting to happen. Down on the waterfront stands the Duke's Palace, once the seat of Venetian power in the city. Today it is home to the Šibenik City Museum, worth a quick visit if you are curious about everything from ancient artifacts to maritime history. From the palace, take a stroll along the waterfront promenade, lined with cafe terraces. Unlike other cities along the Dalmatian coast, Šibenik's Riva is still relaxed, local and unhurried. It is the perfect place to enjoy a drink, people watch, and soak up the view of the old town and sea blending together. And when it's time for lunch or dinner, the waterfront is a great spot to settle in. A must-try, the iconic crni rižot or black risotto. It may not win a beauty contest, but it's rich, flavorful, and pure Adriatic soul on a plate made with cuttlefish or squid, ink, garlic, olive oil, and red wine. Deeply savory, jet black, and totally Dalmatian. But the undisputed star of the old town is the Cathedral of St. James, one of the most unique churches in all of Europe. This basilica from the 1500s was built without a single brick over a course of more than a century. Today, it proudly sits on the UNESCO World Heritage List. It's built without a single drop of mortar. The stone slabs were carefully interlocked like a giant puzzle using dry construction techniques. It's a marvel of medieval engineering, solving complex structural challenges in stone from its vaults to the massive dome. Inside, the cathedral feels both majestic and serene. And tucked beneath is the baptistry, often called the pearl of Croatian sacred art. Its upper walls are draped in delicate, lace-like carvings, while the baptismal font rests on the shoulders of angels. One of the masterminds behind the construction was Juraj Dalmatinac, a sculptor and architect whose statue now stands in front of the cathedral. He also created the iconic frieze of 71 sculpted faces around its exterior, believed to represent real people from his time. Locals say these are portraits of citizens who refused to help fund the church, forever immortalized with slightly exaggerated expressions. For those curious to dive deeper into the cathedral story, the Civitas Sacra Interpretation Center offers an in-depth look at its construction and its damage during the Croatian War of Independence in the 1990s. Painstakingly restored using traditional techniques, the cathedral today stands as a powerful symbol of resilience, unity, and identity for the people of Šibenik. Just a short drive from Šibenik's man-made stone wonders lies one of Croatia's most breathtaking natural wonder, shaped by the wild beauty of the Krka River. Krka National Park is a must-visit, just 20 minutes from the old town. Here you'll discover a stunning landscape of cascading waterfalls, emerald river pools, and lush forests, all linked by scenic wooden walking trails. You can take several boat excursions, each showcasing different parts of the park, revealing historic monasteries, river islands, and even hidden caves. But the one spot you simply can't miss is Skradinski Buk, the most famous and dramatic waterfall on the Krka River. One of the best ways to experience it is by visiting the village of Skradin, where you can catch a scenic boat ride straight to Skradinski Buk. Once dropped off, a 1.9 kilometer or 1.2 mile circular trail leads you through waterfalls, wooden bridges, and an open-air ethno-village that shares the area's rich cultural and natural heritage. The walk takes about 90 minutes, including time to explore, rest at the viewpoints, and take photos. If you have more time, you can continue exploring by boat. Thanks to the travertine barriers, navigation on the Krka River happens in stages. From Skradinski Buk, you can take a 2-hour round trip to Visovac Island or a longer 4-hour journey to Roški, both offering serene landscapes and rich historical significance. These boat tours are booked on-site with tickets sold directly in the park. After exploring the waterfalls, take some time to wander through Skradin, a charming town with surprisingly rich history, even older than Šibenik's. In ancient times, it served as a Roman military post, and under Venetian control, it was transformed into a fortified inland port, a frontier town defending against the advancing Ottoman Empire, enduring waves of destruction and rebuilding. Today, only a few traces of that turbulent past remain. But what you'll find now is a peaceful, welcoming place lined with cozy cafes, family-run restaurants, and plenty of spots to sit by the water and watch the Krka flow gently back towards Šibenik, where it meets the sea. And that brings us back to the question I asked at the beginning. Why is Šibenik still so overlooked? Well, the truth is, Šibenik lost much of its shine after centuries of decline during the Austro-Hungarian and later Yugoslav periods. During the communist Yugoslav era, Šibenik became a major naval base, meaning large parts of the city and surrounding coastline were off-limits to civilians. That's why, unlike other coastal cities like Dubrovnik or Split, which developed strong tourism infrastructure, Šibenik remained more closed off and under the radar. Then came the Croatian War of Independence in the 1990s, during which Šibenik suffered heavy damage. This mix of military presence, limited tourism development, and wartime destruction kept Šibenik in the shadows even after Yugoslavia dissolved. But Šibenik bounced back, stronger and more beautiful than ever. Its lovingly restored old town is authentic, friendly, and relaxed. And as a gateway to some of Croatia's most stunning islands, Šibenik is truly one of the last hidden gems on the Croatian coast. Have you heard of Šibenik before? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're planning a trip, check the QR code or description below for links to some of the experiences I mentioned. I'm Rock. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.